Texas is thought to be one of the freest states in the nation in which to homeschool. And if that's the case, then why is it important that THSE exists? Why is it important for the homeschool community to be involved?
THSE exists because we need someone to help continue keeping Texas families free.
Unfortunately, we live in a day and a time and a culture in which the God-given right of families to direct the education and the upbringing of their children is not widely accepted.
And they need someone out there as an advocate for them to ensure that their ability to raise their kids continues to exist. And a lot of people take that for granted, but the reality is that there are threats and there are risks every year where there's a very real possibility people will lose that. And it's not just homeschoolers, it's families in general. And THSE is the main obstacle that prevents that from happening.
So we had one nervous mom contact our team, and she was asking questions about homeschooling, and her children's school had told her that because of her situation, it would be illegal for her to remove them.
They told her they would be contacting CPS. It was illegal. She was working full-time and they knew that, and it was absolutely illegal for her to homeschool her child.
Regardless of the fact that she had their grandmother ready and willing to help her in the homeschool journey.
Her mother was living in the home and very excited to help teach her children alongside her.
She was being misinformed. She was being given the wrong information. And we were able to arm her with the truth and arm her with facts and to walk her through the legal requirements and the legal steps for withdrawing her children from school.
And I talked to her a month later, and her children were thriving and they were so happy. And she said that because of THSE, she had seen the joy and creativity back in her children's eyes every day, and she loved coming home at the end of the day and going over their work with them and just seeing them thrive in this environment that was really tailored to suit their needs.
So another recent case was a family that had an issue. CPS came to investigate. The family was innocent. And when she told him that she was homeschooling, he said, "I need to review your curriculum, and if you don't let me do that, we're going to take your kids away from you."
What often happens in the CPS cases that we get is that once CPS gets involved, the homeschooling issue becomes an easy target for them. A lot of that comes from the fact that the average judge, the average attorney does not understand how homeschooling works. So it's an easy thing to misconstrue. And so it just takes an advocate who knows what's supposed to happen and understands what the restrictions are to be there when the problem occurs, to advocate for that family.
So one of the things that THSE does is we intervene not only with individual cases, but at the legislature and with the CPS agency itself. And we do that not only to protect the family, but to educate CPS as well.
When you're dealing with a government office, you expect the employees to understand the laws and the processes. And a lot of times homeschool students will run into problems getting driver's licenses because the clerks in the office don't always know what the law is or what the proper forms are.
We got a call from a member family. They were trying to obtain a driver's license for their child. Within minutes of the call, we were able to step in and handle it, and the family walked out of there quickly. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do for our member families. We don't want them to have homeschooling used against them. We want to make sure that they're taken care of and taken care of quickly and painlessly.
A lot of people don't understand the scope of issues that can cause problems with the family when they're involved in homeschooling, because they're not intuitive necessarily, and that often shows up in situations like Social Security or child support, driver's license, things like that. You know, we got a letter from the Social Security Administration. They're saying they're cutting off the benefits because my daughter or my son is graduating.
So we had a widow contact us, and she had no other source of income, but she did not want to discontinue her homeschool. Because we were able to intervene on her behalf and communicate with the Social Security Administration, this was able to help her continue homeschooling throughout the rest of her child's education. And this equated to thousands of dollars, which ultimately, if she'd lost that stream of income, her child would have had to go back into the public school district in her last year of homeschooling, which would have been very disruptive. So because we were able to communicate on her behalf, her daughter was able to graduate, and she was able to take care of her family through that last year of homeschool.
We walk high school graduates through the complicated system of college entrance because of their homeschool background.
THSE learned of a young lady that had applied to enter a nursing program.
And through the application process, they discovered that she was homeschooled, and so they basically denied her access to this specialized program.
We were able to communicate with the college and explain how homeschools in Texas are considered as a type of non-accredited private school. And within 3 weeks of contacting us, she was enrolled and able to begin classes.
One of the reasons that I love working for THSE is because parents have the God-given right and the privilege to raise and educate their own children. And that's the heart of THSE. That's what we believe at THSE.
We further the kingdom of God by serving and protecting families.
The heart of THSE has always been about protecting, promoting, and defending the fundamental God-given right of families to raise their children as they see fit and to educate them at home.
Our heart is to see leaders come out of the families that we're advocating for.
It's going to take the next generation to take the reins, become the leaders, and protect those freedoms for our families.
For the last 30 years, the mission of THSE has been to advocate for and serve and to mobilize the homeschool community to stand in the gap for all Texas families. Will you join with us today and help us accomplish the mission of keeping Texas families free?